Pokeastuff.com and YouTube. So today I'm going to be showing you a beginner slash kind of a little bit intermediate Linux commands in Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is the new operating system for Backtrack. I do have a tutorial on how to install this the same way I have right here in a Oracle VirtualBox, as you can see up here, up in the top left corner. I don't think you can see my mouse. You can now though. Alright, so let's get started. So first, I'm just going to show you some ways to navigate through the directories. So the command cd, which I believe it means change directory, is just used to change the directory. So the main directory that Linux or Kali Linux comes with is /. So then now you're in that directory, so you can do anything you want in that directory. It's just used for changing directories. Let's say I can /root and now I'm back into the root. As you can see, the little icon right there changed just because that's the symbol for root folder or your home folder. Okay, so now to see what's in your directory, you do ls, press enter, and that's everything that is in your directory that is not hidden. With every command that you have, there should be a help function. So let's say ls/help, tap help, and it gives a bunch of information on what you can do with it. So let's see, so if I want to see everything in one directory, I'll just look here. So arguments are just commands that you can put after your initial, see right here, the option, and sorry, don't look at that. See, I wrote the program here, and I did --help for the help command. So right here, if you do -a, it shows everything, and shows everything in the folder. So let's try that, see what happens. So I'm just going to clear this. Clear clears the screen. It pushes everything up, so you can't see it. See, and it comes back to normal. So if I do ls, -a, then it shows me everything in my home folder. So as you could see before, if I just did ls, see there's barely anything in here compared to everything that's hidden here. Alright, so I just showed you cd to change directories. So let's say if I want to go into documents, because I'm in, so ls to see where I am. Pwd shows the exactly what directory you're in. So let's say if I want to go see cd/user bin, I'm not even sure if this, yeah, it is. So if I do pwd, it tells me exactly where I am, right here. So it just gives you a location of where you are, because sometimes if there's just a little dash here, you don't really know exactly where that is if you're new to Linux. So just pwd shows you the current directory. Okay, so I'll clear that again. So now if you want to go back out of a directory, instead of just typing in cd/user, which would get you back to this one, because right now I'm in a directory in user, I'm in the bin directory. So instead of typing in just the whatever's after the bin, I can type in cd ... and now I go back one, so I can do it again, and I go back to the system files or file systems. So I have to ls. This is all the file systems, all the folders in the root directory. I'm not really sure if I should really call it the root directory, because the root where is it? The root directory is actually here. So I'm not really sure what to call this, but this is if I go into just like a navigator. Sorry, a GUI interface for navigating through the files and opening them and such, if it will actually open. So like it would be file systems. So like this is basically like if you're on Windows, this is your C drive. Okay, so now, oops. So let's move on. So I'll clear. So also I'm going to be trying to show you about 31 commands. It might be a little bit daunting, but maybe 30. I'm just going to try and show you the ones that are pretty useful in day-to-day things you're doing. Okay, so now let's say you are in your home folder, so /root. Another way to do this is, let's say you're in user bin. I'll just do that again. So let's see what's in there. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. Okay, never mind. Don't look at that. So let's say if I'm in this, instead of typing in the /root, there's just an easier command, sorry, /root. There's an easier command to do that. You just type in / and the little squiggly line at the top left of your keyboard. Sorry. Just the little squiggly line, no slash. And that will get you directly to your root directory, your home folder, which is where all this stuff is in. Okay, so another feature that I'm going to show you is, I'll show you another one before I show you this one so you can actually use it for something. There's something called touch. So what touch does, it just makes files. So let's say touch. So right now, because I'm in my root directory, so ls, I'm in all that stuff. So just take. Well, you don't have to take note. Just see. Look what is up there. So if I do type in touch and then I type in, let's say, example, press enter, then I scan again, and I see that there's a new file. It's just a file. It's not like a text file or anything like that. It's just a file, and I can see it's right here. So it's called example. So now there's another command you can do. It's called nano. This is an in-console text editor. So if I type in nano and then the name of the file I want to edit with a text editor, press enter, you come up to this screen. So in here, I can type in, let's say, echo hello. So echo just means it prints back whatever is on this side of it. Okay, so echo hello, then I can control X for exit. And then at the bottom here it says you want to save, so yes, I do want to save, and I'll still keep it as example. So now, if I go into nano again, in example, you see that the echo hello is right there. Okay, so let's try one more. So now, I'm going to show you another way of seeing what's inside text files with something called head, which shows you the head of example, the header. So right there, so that's the header, and I can also do tail of example. So that shows you the tail of example. Because this is a one-line text file, so to make it larger, I'll just add more stuff into it. So hello, let's say that is going to be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so I'm going to X, save, enter. Alright, so now if I type in head and example, you'll get the first 10 lines of the head. Now if I type in tail, you should get the last 10 lines of tail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Okay, so that's just another way of seeing what's in the file. What's in a text file. So I'm going to clear this again. So now, if you want to see everything that's in a file without actually going into a text editor, you can use something called cat. So if I cat example, it shows me everything that's in this file. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And all of these, you can do cat -- help, and you'll get a help file of all the things you can see, all the things you can do with cat. Most programs that come with Kali Linux that aren't made by just one-person developers, like programs that are in Linux itself, are going to have help files. They may even have a manual. So to access a manual, type an man, let's say cat. And this is the manual for the cat program. The cat program. So this shows a lot more information than the help does. And you can just press Q to quit that. So you can do man with most commands. Let's see. So I can do a man of clear. And there isn't that, you can't really do anything else with clear other than clear, which is kind of funny. So another one I want to show you would be called, let's see. So if you may have noticed when I go into this my root directory, there's these blue ones. There's blue files or names. There's a white one, which is the one we created. This is just a file. And then there's this red one. So these blue ones are folders. So let's say if I want to go into example, I wouldn't be able to do that because it's not a directory. So all of these are directories itself. So if I wanted to go to cd desktop, and this is case sensitive, so you have to type it exactly the way it's called. Then I can go into that folder or the desktop, see what's on the folder, and nothing's there. Or I can see if there's anything there, and there isn't anything there. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and now you can see that there is this thing called the WebSport framework version blah 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 blah. I actually did a tutorial on how to install this. So this is a tar file. It's basic for if you are a Windows person. A tar file is kind of like a zip file or WinRAR file, WinRAR file. It's just compressed. And you can't really access it unless you decompress it. So you can go into places, home folder, and double click on this. Should be able to. Maybe. Actually, yeah, I think you can't. You have to do it through the terminal. So the way that you would extract this, so it's actually tar, you type in tar. So again, we can do help, see what, and there's a lot more options for tar than there is with the other programs. But let's see. So we want to extract this. So let's see. So these are examples. So X here. Let's see. X is extract. List. No, I want to. And switch in file. Okay. So I want to use the file. And I want to see what I'm doing. I want to see the process going on. Verbose. It's this option here. So what you would do is you type in tar. Actually, let me clear this so I can see what it's called. So I'm going to type in tar. X for extract. V for verbose, I believe it's called, to see what's actually happening. So it tells you when the command is complete. It doesn't just you type in the command, it doesn't just do that, it doesn't just add another line, another blank line. It actually tells you what's happening. So X, V, and F. So X for extract, V for showing you what's happening, and F for file name. I put a space. I put 2 brackets. So I have to put 2 brackets because if you've noticed here, these aren't this isn't a connected file. The 2 words or names here aren't connected together. So to make sure, to let the computer know that this is a whole file, you have to put brackets around it to say this is a string or this is a file. So you press enter, and it tells you everything that I just extracted. So ls. That was actually a bad example because those files were already here. Well, I'll show you another command to move the file. So mv is move. Mv, let's do -help. Tells you all the commands you can do for help. See again, there's the verbose to tell you explain what's being done. That's a better example than there was in the tar. There's help, there's version. So force, don't prompt. So what I want to move this file to, so tac vf, because I want to show what's happening and force it. So I want to move, so brackets. I want to move this file. Make sure that the file's in the brackets as well, if you miss. Move this file to root directory. Remember that little squiggly line means root directory, or your whatever, yeah, your root directory, your home folder. So this, see that little squiggly line here? So that's what I'm in. So I don't actually, no, I don't want to move that there. I want to move this to the desktop. So slash desktop. So that's inside here. Press enter. And it just told me there that I just moved it to the desktop. So let me check. And it's gone. So it just moved. So let's go into the desktop. See what's in there. And as you can see, actually I can probably close this. It's right there. That file right there. So there's also an interesting way, if you've been wondering how to rename files in Linux. It's actually, I always found this kind of strange, but if you want to rename a file, you'd actually use the move command, or you can use the move command. So to show what's happening. So I can use the arrow keys as well on my keyboard, the up and down, to see what commands I've done. So I want to move this. So if you just type in the name of the file you want to move, and then type in another name, I'll just call it websploit. Websploit v204. Dot. There we go. So that's what I want to call it. So you can only do this unless you are in the same directory as this file. Okay? So then you press enter. And it just it moved it into that file. Like it renamed it. So if I do ls, it's now called this. So this is this file. It's just renamed. Okay? So you can stop this video anytime you want to play it back, because I'm going kind of fast. So now there's a little bit more complicated ones. There is something called grep, which is a search tool that searches through. It's a grep. Pretty sure grep's a search tool. Help. Yeah, it does a lot. So grep is a text search tool. So what I can do is I can type in, let's say, let's go back to my example file that I made. So cd dot dot. Let's see, so cat example. There. So if I went to grep example and find the number 1. No, I can't do that. Sorry, this might be confusing. I just want to see if this would work. Okay, so I'm not sure how to do this in a different way, but what I did here is this. I did this cat command, like I did up here, that shows everything. Now this here is called a pipe. So what a pipe does is it feeds the output of cat example. So this is the output of cat example. It feeds the output of cat example into the program you have on the right of it. So it feeds it into grep, this program that filters out text. So what I told grep is to look for 1. So every word or line, every bunch of characters that has a 1 in it, it would show up here. So 19 has a 1, 2 doesn't have a 1, so it's not there, 10, so on and so forth. So a pipe-in is an extremely powerful command, or it's not really a command, extremely powerful command that you can use in Linux that allows you to do a lot of cool things. Okay, so there's also ways to show pictures. You can say display. Oops. Actually, do I have any pictures? Oh, CD, pictures. Pokeastuff. Okay, so I can do display. And I can do Pokeastuff dot png. Press enter, and it displays the picture. Oops. There we go. So that's, come on. displays the picture. And you can do different commands with display using the help. Let's see, help. You can basically just fool around with this. You can, with the help command, you can just see everything the program does, or that's meant to do. So another command you can use is called convert. Convert. Let me just. So for when I convert the Pokeastuff.png to, let's say, a JPEG, I do convert Pokeastuff, spell Pokeastuff right, .png to Pokeastuff.jpg. Now if I ls, now I have both the PNG and the JPEG. So if I do display on the Pokeastuff.jpg, it will still open. It will still work. So I tried doing this. I had to change. The extension on a picture. I forget which one. I was just playing around with the lock screen and stuff like that, and I had to change the display on a picture, but I had a JPEG and I need to change it to a PNG. So what I tried to do is I tried to use the move file to rename it. Yeah, that didn't work. So you have to use this convert command, which actually does a really good job of converting the pictures. And I don't even know how to do that easily on Windows. So that's another cool thing you can do. There is I can try and find a PDF somewhere. Actually, I'll just drag one in from my desktop. A PDF, so I can show you how to open a PDF with Linux. So I'm just trying to find one over here. Let's see, so I'm going to drag this file to my desktop. 10 things to look for when investing. What are the 10 things you have to look for? So instead of just double-clicking on it, which is boring, in the terminal, what you can do, so I have to go to the desktop now, let's do wiggly line, desktop. Okay, so now I'm in the desktop. The file is right here. So now if I want to open a PDF, I would type in I think it's, yeah. I'm not really sure what the significance of this word, but it's the command for opening a PDF. Just copy the PDF here. Copy, I would paste, and it's not 0, it's supposed to be 10. Just enter, and you can open the file. Okay, so let's clear that now. So now we can get into a little bit more complicated things you can do. You can also do who am I. So I am the root. So if you changed users to, let's say, guest, you typed in who am I, it would say guest. It says here who you are, but still, it's who am I. There's also another cool thing you can do, is you can add, so you know how if I type in who am I, for example, type in who am I, it just appears. I can be in any directory, cd, let's go back to that one, I can type in who am I again, and it's going to appear. So what this does, it looks for specific programs in a specific place. It's called the path. So I do echo, which tells me echo path. It tells me where it looks for those programs that I can access anywhere. So if you want to add to the path, what you do is you'd add a directory with Linux executables. So before I show you that, I should probably show you how to create Linux executable. So let's clear this, and let's go into example. So nano example, because I want to edit example now. Okay, so let me delete this. Can I do that? No. So let me try and delete this. So I want to echo hello. So I can call this example. So I'll save this. So there's a command called chmod. Let's help see what it can do. So chmod, it's like in Windows a .bat file or a .cmd file. When you run it, it runs it with the terminal. So what I typed in is echo hello into the example. That's the only thing. So I can cat example, and that's the only thing in there. So if it will echo hello, so it'll send back a hello. So if I do chmod plus x, which turns into an executable, and then write example, keep forgetting that x, press enter. So now if I type in, now I can just type in example / example, and it goes hello. So now that I know that this will echo hello, what I can do is I can add the home folder, the little squiggly line folder, to the path so I can access this example from anywhere. Alright, so what I'm going to do is ls to see what's inside. So as you can see, the color also changed. So it's no longer white as just a file. Now this is an executable. So if you do /, you can execute the executable. Okay, so let's echo path again just to see what's in there. Alright, so now I want to add to the path, so ls. So to add to the path in your user, so ls attach a to see what everything that's in there. And you want to edit, let's see, where is it? You want to edit this file here. So what you do is nano, just copy .-rc, enter, and this is all the stuff. Don't worry about this. This is most files like this are like this. Just enter a couple of times. What you're gonna type in is path equals number path colon / and then the directory you want it to look in for that program, the example program. So the example program is in my home folder, or root my home folder. So I type in is the squiggly line, and I believe that's it. So now it's like exit, and yes, I want us to save, and yes. So now I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to go back in. So I'm in the home folder. So I'm just going to go into a random one, like the user bin /users. There we go. Now if I type in example, type example, right? It's going to echo hello. So if you realized, I'm not going to do the ls again because this is the directory that has all the crazy stuff in it. But if you realize I'm not in this folder here. I'm not in the home folder. I'm in a completely different one, but I can still access the file. So I thought that was pretty cool. So this is getting to the more advanced stuff. I can show you how to update the Linux. So apt-get update, press enter, and it looks through the source file for all the updates here. And there are a lot of updates. I haven't updated this in a while. And then after this finishes, what you do is apt-get upgrade, press enter, and it would start to upgrade everything. And there's going to be a lot more than that. I would do this a couple times per week just to keep updated, and you can do apt-get dist upgrade, and that's just another way to upgrade. Okay, so now let me show you a little bit more, some of the more basic ones. So let me go back to my home folder. So let's say I want to create a directory. You type in make, so mkdir directory. So in CMD for Windows, dir is actually how you look, is actually your ls for terminal. So dir in Windows, the CMD shows you everything that's in that folder, or that directory. So if I do make directory, and I will call it YouTube. Enter. Now I do ls, and now I have a directory called YouTube. So there's also another command if you want to remove stuff. You type in rm, and then the file name. Now you'd probably be thinking, well, can't I? I can probably just use that for the folder, can't I? For some reason, I don't really understand there why, but you cannot for some reason. Because you cannot remove it if it's directory. To get around this, you just type in tac r. Press enter. Now you do ls, and it's gone. Okay, so now, let me show you some more fun commands. Do a find command, so you can find any file on the computer. Help. So it shows you all the stuff you can do with find. And again, you can do man for manual, and find. It's probably a pretty big manual. Yeah, that's a pretty big manual. We don't need to see all that at the moment. Press Q. So let me clear this. So let's say I want to find example. So I will go to, I'll go far deep. Actually want to go pretty CDs. I'll go into what's in. Oops. Then I'm going to go into this one. I'm just going into a random folder just to show you that it will be able to find the example file. What's in here? I'll go into pub keys. Pub keys. Okay. So now that I'm in this random file, I can do find. You're going to tell it where you want it to look. So let's say if I just want it to look in the file systems, like everywhere in the file systems. I found that this isn't very efficient. If you narrow the search, the more likely it is to find it. I'm not really sure why it doesn't always find it when you do this. But if I do /find, you want to find a name, and I type in example, and enter. You'll start trying to find example. So you can see here, it actually did find it here, root example. So these are just different files. So it found a file called example. Like this is exactly what it's called. If you want to find a file, it has to be exactly called this. You can put in different parameters. Instead of name, you can put in tons, lots of different ones. You can put in by the extension on the end of it to find it. So I'm just going to cancel that. To find it and stuff like that. So find's a very useful command as well. Let's see what else can I show you. There's instead of editing in the editor with nano like that, you can use something called gedit. Oh, gedit's not in here. Oh, that's sad. Okay, don't use that. It's not there. It was in Backtrack 5, so that's why. I guess you don't really need it. Let's see, what else can I show you? I can show you some rever commands. So what rever is, let's type in rever. Rever. Tech help. So rever is a Wi-Fi attack tool. It's actually a pretty useful one. It can attack any network that has WPS enabled, Wi-Fi protected setup, which is surprisingly a lot of routers. So what you do, this might be a pretty complicated tutorial. Okay, well I'm going to show you something first. There's a lot of programs created by the Aircrack suite. I'm not really sure who created them, but Aircrack. So if config shows you all of your wireless, so all of your network adapters. If you have a wireless card, it'll probably be something called WLAN 0, and it might say if you're connected to a network like this is, it'll have this, and it would look like this. So what you want to do here is airmon tac ng. For some reason, there's a tac ng and these types of programs like aircrack ng. There's air dump ng. You type in your wireless card WLAN 0 and then start. What this does is it starts. No, you type in start then WLAN 0. Sorry. What this does, it starts the monitor. It starts a monitor mode, which means it just looks for everything on the wireless network. It just collects everything. So now that that is activated, if you did ifconfig again, then you would realize that there is another network adapter called mon0, which is monitor 0. And that's what I was just debating up here. You would use that to crack a network with Reaver. Okay, there's also a very useful tool, which can change your MAC address. If you do ifconfig, come on, you'll notice that you'll have your MAC address. This is your MAC address. So there's a program called MAC Changer, which does exactly what it's called. It changes your MAC address. So what you can do here, what you have to do is ifconfig, and the network adapter that you want to change, I want to change ETH0, which is the one that it's connected to. So I'd do ETH0 down. So this just disconnects it from the outside world. So you can, it just puts it into, so it's not activated. Right now it's deactivated, so you can do whatever you want to it. And then when it reactivates, it'll have those changes with it. So what you can do here, you can do MAC Changer. Let's say tac help, see what's inside. Let's see. So you can, you can change it fully. Didn't know you could do that. You can change it to a specific MAC address. You can just change it to a random one of any kind. So let's just change it to a random one of any kind. So let's do MAC Changer. Tac A. And I will change the ETH0. Press enter. And it says what your MAC address really is, what it was, and what it just changed it to. So now this is just a random one. So now if I type in ifconfig, your MAC address is now changed. So if you noticed up here, this is 0800, and this is, that's a bad example, 27. It didn't change it that much. The last characters, okay, 50, E4, and E8. If you look up here, it's not, it's 57, 60, 96, and D4, so it has changed it. So now you are masked. So people will not know who you are if they figure out where your MAC address is. And then to reactivate your card, you type in ifconfig, your network adapter, and up. That will reactivate it. I think that's good enough for a relatively moderately advanced tutorial on Linux. That's just some of the stuff you can do. I will show you one more thing. This isn't terminal based, but what you can do is, let's say you want to use a shortcut key on your keyboard to activate, let's say, terminal. So what we can do is go to the root up here, System Settings, Keyboard, Shortcuts, Custom Shortcuts. Let's say terminal, so I already have this here, but I will just delete this. Press plus, I'm going to call this terminal. And the command to open up another terminal is GNOME. There we go. Terminal. Now this is for this version of Kali Linux. I click apply. You just hold this down here, and you type in the two keys you want to use. So I want to use Alt and resign. So Alt Tab now uses the terminal. Exits, and right now I'm going to press Alt Tab, and it opens up the terminal. Press it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. You get the idea. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, comment and click the like button above. If you like this kind of stuff, come to our website at pokeastuff.com. Thanks. Bye.